Hello, Christina. Hello, Richard. Okay, welcome everyone. Hello, Alice. Hello, Richard. Hello, Christina. My allergies are bad again today. Hello, Zoe, and hello, Maurice. Okay, if you have questions about English, raise your hand. You can come on stage and talk to me about it. Okay? People complain sometimes that I don't have people on stage enough. I don't talk to people enough. So, I'm going to try to do that more, but you have to raise your hand and you have to come on stage. Can I explain the difference between other and another and others? Yeah. So, Miguel, another means one more. Other means a different one. So if I say give me another iPhone, that means give me one more iPhone. If I say give me the other iPhone, that means give me the different iPhone, not this one, that one. Right? Maybe there are two. Don't give me this one. Oh no, give me the other one. Okay? So another means one more. Can I have another glass of Coke? Can I have another cup of coffee? Another, one more. Okay, that's one more. Other means different most of the time. The other problem with this is blah, 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 blah. Means a different problem. Okay, a different one. A separate and different problem. The other. Okay? Others is just the plural form of other, right? So, let me think of some ways we use others. Among others, right? So maybe we say, this is one problem to consider among many others, which would mean many more. Okay? You're welcome. Do you understand? Is that clear enough? I can give you more examples if you need to, if you need them. Let's see. Miriam says, if I say this assignment worth a huge portion. No, you need to say this assignment is worth a huge portion of my final grade. This assignment is worth a huge portion of my final grade. Good. I'm glad, Miguel. Good. It's a common problem or question. Many people have a question about other and another. What's the difference between bad and bed? Zoe, this is the problem that Chinese people have and why I say you need to have a big mouth when you speak English, right? So, has to be big like an apple when you're eating an apple, right? So, bad. Now, there is a trick. I want to teach you a trick that I just learned recently. Not learned, but I kind of found. I found this trick that works. Okay? I remember when I was studying Chinese in the university in Taiwan, and I noticed that my teacher, when she did the third tone, she exaggerated the third tone a lot because she wanted to make sure we, exaggerated it. And what she did to make her uh, tone more exaggerated was I noticed that her chin would dip. Okay, like this. I have something in my voice. Huh? There should be no effect on my voice. Is my voice clear, everyone? Let me check the settings. One moment. Microphone. No, everything should be fine. Can you guys hear me clearly? It's clear. Okay, maybe it might be you, Rose. Okay, let me get back to my explanation. I noticed that when my teacher in Chinese would do the third tone, she would dip her chin down. So she, for example, like the number 5, right? Ooh, ooh, right? And she would dip her chin like this. Ooh, right? Now, this works for the A sound in English too. If you open your mouth and say ah, 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 dip your chin back into your body, like raising your head and dipping your chin, right? Just push it down. Bad. Okay? It actually works almost the same as the way the third tone works in Chinese. To exaggerate the third tone, you can dip your chin also. Okay? And then the E sound in English is it's the middle position of openness, right? So we have the A sound is the wide open position, right? 就是大的嘴, okay? So 大的嘴, 中的嘴, okay? Middle mouth, we'll call it, okay? Medium open, okay? And then 小的 is 小的, okay? So okay? Saying otherwise, the teacher will deduct points. You could say, Miriam, you could say, I don't think I would use otherwise. I think I would just say, if you didn't have this answer, then the teacher will deduct points. Deduct is the word you're looking for. Okay? Okay, and I want to get somebody up on stage here in a second, too. Loe wants me to pronounce the word theater. 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 Okay? Theater. Theater. Okay, I'm going to the theater. We're going to the movie theater. Okay, good. I'm glad dipping your chin works. Good for you. Why can't you learn English well? 你可以啊，你可以啊。Everyone can. So can you. Let's see. You're not sure how to use the phrase only to. Right. Only to discover right. So what you say only to is, let me think of another way to say that. So we use only to when we're talking about something we did and then something that we realized, right, as a result of that. So um, I rushed home from work as quickly as possible, only to find that I rushed for no reason because my watch was broken. Okay, so that means I rushed home because I thought I was late. But when I got home, I realized I wasn't late. My watch was just broken, and it made me think I was late. So, only to find. I rushed home as quickly as I could, only to find, and then to realize. Okay, that's what that means. All right. Maurice, if you want to have more vocabulary, then you need to create a system for learning vocabulary. You need to make an effort to learn vocabulary, but you need a system, right? There are so many words that it's important to think about what vocabulary you need, okay? There are some general kinds of topics of vocabulary you can think about, right? Like uh, introductions and greetings, that's good vocabulary to know for anyone, generally. Um, Food, that's good vocabulary to know, generally, for anyone, because we all have to eat, right? But there are topics that are in your life, right? I'm a musician. So, as a musician, I need music vocabulary to be able to talk, right? About music. So, you need to think about what are my interests, what are my hobbies, what are my goals in life, and then think about what vocabulary do I need for those things. Are you studying engineering or medicine? Then you need medical vocabulary or engineering vocabulary, right? And Maurice, read, 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 read. Reading is the best way to learn vocabulary. Okay? Um, then you can also get a thesaurus. Go to thesaurus.com. Just go and then type in a word and you'll see. A thesaurus is a dictionary of synonyms. So if you know the word happy, that's wonderful. Happy is good, right? Happy is great. But do you know the word joyful or joyous or jubilant? Joyful, joyous, and jubilant are related to happy. Okay? You know the word sad, but do you know the word melancholic? That means sad. If you use a thesaurus, you'll find that. Okay? All right. And follow me here, Maurice. I talk about learning vocabulary here all the time. I teach vocabulary sometimes. Usually I teach advanced vocabulary, but yeah. Please pronounce unfortunately, unfortunately, unfortunately. Fortune. The word fortune is in there. Unfortunately. What do I want to be when I grow old? And I'm already old. I am that thing. I am what I'm both old and I'm the thing that I become when I'm old. uh, Miriam, only to find is for something. It could be surprising, it could be shocking, or it just could be something you didn't realize. Okay? It doesn't have to be something particularly shocking. It could be something simple like I realized my watch was broken, only to find my watch was broken. Okay? Nirgiz says, I have problems with spelling. Do I have any tips for better spelling? Unfortunately, there are not many great tips for spelling in English because English words come from too many different languages, and because they come from so many different languages, using phonics to define spelling or determine spelling is a very effective way about 60% of the time, but about 40% of the time you're going to find some words that phonics don't work with, right? Like the word though, Though. Phonics is not going to help you spell that. Phonics, when you hear the word, you only hear THO, though, right? So, phonics is definitely important. You need to be able to sound the words out, and that is how we do it. The majority of people here, when they have a word they don't know, we use phonics to sound it out, and we use phonics when we're thinking of how to spell something too. Okay? But sometimes it can help to learn where the word comes from. For example, French words. About 30% of English words come from French. And there are many, many words that you can see in the spelling. Like if it has E-A-U. If the word has E-A-U in it, that's a French word. If it has E-T-T-T-E in it, that's a French word. If it has U and I next together, that's a French word, probably. So knowing that it's French helps me understand how to spell it because I know how they pronounce things too, right? So spelling is definitely one of the tricky parts of English, for sure. Okay. A British study said adult age starts at age 40 to 65. Well, that's interesting. So what is a 39-year-old then? They're not an adult? Yeah, I don't think I agree with that term. These terms like adult and child honestly have not much real value or meaning, right? The only value that they have is a numerical value, right? So we generally say that children are a younger age and adults are an older age. But we all know someone who is an adult who acts like a child. And we all know some child, probably, who is pretty mature. You know, we've seen children who are very, very mature for their age, and we've seen adults who are very immature for their age. So the entire concept of age and labeling yourself as an adult or elderly or whatever, it really is, it's just a social construct that doesn't really have any real value. Okay. Anyway, yeah, bon appetit. That's right. Also French. Let's see. The sentence, when the teacher requested that we turn in our assignment. Let me think. How would you do that? Wait a minute. Let me look at your sentence for a moment. That's a tricky one to use in this case. You could say, I had just heard the teacher request that we turn in our assignment. I had just heard the teacher request that we turn in our assignment, only to find that I'd forgotten mine. Okay, you could say that. Okay. You're welcome, Joy. Good night. Okay, let's see. Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me on stage. Somebody raised their hand, and I'm sorry I didn't get it in time. Raise your hand. Yeah, anyone can. If you have a question, come talk to me. Let me just check my YouTube here really quickly. Hello, Flavia. I didn't report you, Alexandrite. No, I did not report you. I did not report you. However, Alexandrite, if you're still there, uh, I will tell you this. Hello Talk messaged me and told me that I'm not allowed to talk to you because the rules on Hello Talk are children can't be on camera with an adult unless their parents are there with you. So if your mom or dad is there, then you can come on stage and talk to me. Okay, Alexandrite? But that's the rules of Hello Talk, is children are not allowed to talk to other adults without their parents being there. Okay? So I did not report you, Alexandrite. I don't know who did, but I did not. Are you there? I'm not sure if you're hearing me, but I did not report you. And I'm glad. That's nice that you looked up to me. You know, like I said, if you want to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to you, but we have to follow the rules. Okay. All right. Let's see. Let's talk to Anwar. I think I remember him. Hello,
Good
Anwar.
evening.
Yeah. Hey, good to see you again. How are you?
I'm good, just a bit stressed because I have to revise my writing. Like I'm writing my chapter first and chapter like the first two the first what's that? First chapter and the second chapter of my thesis right now. So yeah, I
Mm.
have to like finish it by the end of by the end of July.
Mm. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thesis writing is
I
never
want
fun.
like I need some advice from you on my writing because I think that writing is also like hard, one
It
of
is,
the
yeah,
complicated.
yeah. I'll be honest with you. There is a certain level of English writing that honestly becomes. Um, Let me think of how do I describe this. Wait a minute. Let me think of my words carefully. Um, there is a loss of return on the level of English communication. There's a loss of return of communication the higher level you go in English. What happens is simple English sometimes is great for explaining things, but the more complicated we make it, there does reach a point where actually it's like you're going out of your way to make something complicated. Like and that's what thesis writing is. That's exactly what thesis writing is like, here's a simple sentence that tells what I do, but I can't use that because they won't like simple. I have to make it complicated. So now I'm going to
Yeah.
rewrite this sentence, make it twice as long, and use huge vocabulary words to describe what is really a simple thing. um, but I can tell you how you can get some practice and help with this. There is a good way to do this. This is a good way to use ChatGPT, where what you can do is write one thing. No, not for your thesis, for practicing the writing style. Okay, I don't want you to use ChatGPT on your thesis itself, but what I want you to do is I want you to type in a prompt for an article. Like, for example, maybe you can type in something simple. Type in one
Yeah,
simple
yeah, I'm gonna
paragraph,
type it.
right? Type in one simple
I'm gonna
paragraph.
type it now. I'm gonna type it now, right? I'm gonna type it now on my no.
And then what I want you to do is tell it to rewrite that at a C2 thesis level. So what you can do is you can take simple writing, copy anything simple. You don't even have to write it yourself. You can just copy something that's simple from the internet and then ask ChatGPT to rewrite that at a thesis level of C2 vocabulary. Okay? And it will.
C2, right?
Yeah,
C2.
C2 level. Yeah, C2 level. Because C2 is definitely what they want in a thesis, you know, thesis level writing. Okay, so yeah, what you can do is you can practice the concept of writing something that's simple and then turning it into something very, very complicated. Okay, very
Yeah.
academic. Okay, I mean, it shouldn't be complicated. Honestly, in my opinion, I'm. This is something I'm writing about in one chapter of my book. Is this concept of how communication is supposed to be for clarity, right? For understanding. When we communicate, you're supposed to be helping people understand better. But if your level of English becomes so convoluted that it doesn't explain anything well anymore, then it's not communicating well, right? So this is what happens with a lot of thesis papers. I helped one of my friends write her thesis, right? And uh, honestly, her entire thesis was really, it could have been written in the most simple way. It could have been one page and been really simple and straightforward, and it still, in my opinion, it would have had the same academic value. It would have had the same importance of her point. Her point was a good point, but it didn't need to be explained with academic level language. But they make you do that because that's what they want at that level, right? It's a weird thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I know.
not testing your
Yeah.
they're not testing your level of communication. They're testing your level of ability to translate something simple into a highly academic form of language. That's what they're doing,
Yeah.
and that's what ChatGPT is good for. That what I've been doing with my students recently is sometimes I have them. I ask ChatGPT to write one story, one paragraph, in 6 different levels. A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. And it's cool to be able to see what does that look like. The same story now written 6 different ways to show how you would turn a simple story about a boy walking in the woods. How would I do that with really complicated language at a C2 level?
Yeah.
Right? And it's good practice to see what the writing would be. Like, how could I get there? How could I do that? Right? It's good for that. I wouldn't ask, I don't think you should use it to actually write your thesis. That's not going to help you. But I do think you should use it to suss out your ideas. Do you know what that means? To suss out?
What's that? Suss out
Yeah, suss out is,
to
uh,
to
is a,
put it into
it,
something.
it's suss out, to suss something out, everybody. It's a slang term that means to uh, do the let me think of how to say it. You're doing the computations to figure out the solution, right? To suss it out means to figure it out, right? So
Uh,
you can use ChatGPT to discuss it, right? Don't ask it to write for you, but you can say, I think this is my idea. I think this is right because of this. What do you think? And then see what it says, and then ask it to critique you. And then you can say, well, I think this might be wrong. And it will, so that's sussing it out. Sussing it out means let's talk about it and find all the problems and all the questions and discuss all of the angles. That's sussing it out, right? So it's like a partner that you can talk to say, like, I think this is my idea. Does that sound right to you? Like, yeah, I think that sounds right, but what about this? So it's really good for that. I use that like every day. I have ideas in my mind all the time, and sometimes I like to just suss them out with ChatGPT. Grand ideas about um, sociology, psychology, philosophy, uh,
yeah.
whatever. Sometimes these are fun to play with ChatGPT to suss them out. Okay.
So yeah. So the problem was like I use ChatGPT. I use AI to write my thesis because like I was running out of time, and then like
Got to
when
be
it
careful
comes
with that.
to submitting the thesis, I had no time to edit, to rephrase anything from that.
Right.
It's simply me copy paste
Right.
the whole pages from it, like, and then it was like 60 pages, and then
Yeah.
yesterday we got the feedback from our lecturer, and then she used this AI detector, and then she detect like most of them are chat AI generated, and then she wrote in the feedback saying that I'm not gonna continue my feedback because this is AI generated. So you know that's
Right. So
I
that's
basically
that's why I
I
said,
need to
yeah, that's why I
revise my
said you need
feedback.
to suss it out with ChatGPT, but you can't ask ChatGPT to write it for you, right? So discuss the ideas with ChatGPT like it's a partner that you can like discuss the the pros and cons of your ideas, like the what do you think is good or bad about your idea. Discuss it with ChatGPT. That will help you to make sure you know your answers well. And it will help you to find the right words too, but you shouldn't just copy and paste. You should suss it,
Rephrase.
yeah, have a discussion, and then through your discussion with ChatGPT, you will find words that work for you. Like you'll say, like, okay, yeah, now I think I know how to describe this thing I want to say better, because you
Yeah.
talked about it, right? Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, like I said, you have to be careful with that. It is actually it's not that hard to figure out whether somebody used ChatGPT to do their writing or not.
Yeah, yeah, and basically like today in the class, so like because like so many people got this feedback, like some friend of me like they got this AI generated feedback. So I make one question to my lecturer saying that what is the percentage of the usage of AI that there is allowed in our thesis, and then she I guess that she gave us like vague answer because it's not loud at all, and then she kind of said that it's probably like 20% because like when it comes to Turnitin, like the one that you check for plagiarism. So I guess that it's only like
Yeah,
20%.
yeah. So
Yeah,
Fluffy did mention something here that I've heard, but I've not tried. Quillbot. There is some kind of a tool that apparently I think you can use where if you did use ChatGPT or AI, you run it through
yeah.
Quillbot, and after that they can't tell whether you did. But I have a theory of another way that might work, but I don't know if I should tell you or not. um, because
Tell me, tell me, sir.
so ChatGPT also can do another neat trick. You can ask it to write in the style of someone, right? So if I say, "Can you write a
Oh,
story in the style of Shakespeare?" It will, right? If I say, "Can you write a story in the style of Stephen King?" It will, right? And it'll use
yeah, yeah,
their
yeah,
stylisms
yeah.
to do it. Now, my theory is, if you were to ask ChatGPT to write something for you, but ask it to do it stylistically and combine two or three styles, personal styles, right? So like choose two or three different writers that are good academic writers or something like that, and then
I'm
ask
gonna
it
try
to
this
to
one.
combine the three stylistic ideas. Now, my theory is that the AI tools that they use to detect whether you used AI or not, I think they'll be confused by the stylistic additions, like that it
Yeah,
looks personalized in a way, and it's not just Shakespeare. It's Shakespeare and Stephen King put together. Like that's unique, right? So I think that
yeah,
might be
yeah,
a
yeah.
way to like trick it.
I I will probably try this tonight. Yeah. Thank you for the tips, sir. Thank you for the tips.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll work, so don't blame me if it doesn't work. But I think it,
Yeah,
it
so
could
but
it could
I
work.
I will definitely try this one. I'll definitely try this one.
But my other ideas regarding it, I think, are good. Again, use ChatGPT to suss out your ideas. When you need to have a major debate of a very, very detailed topic on a highly academic level, that's something that's great for ChatGPT. It's excellent at that. It has all the data. It can have a discussion with you at that level. You should tell it, please have a debate and discussion with me about this concept at a C2 thesis level.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you
yeah.
have to remember that the other secret about AI is you think about this. If you want your response to be a good response, how much time did you put into your prompt? That's the
Yeah, you
problem.
have to be so detailed, right?
That's right. Like a lot of people, when they want a good answer, they're disappointed in ChatGPT or AI because it doesn't give them a good answer. But it doesn't give them a good answer because they did not take time to make a good prompt. The more time you
Yeah.
spend to make a good prompt, the better your answer will be.
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so that's why you have to be careful. You have to think about these other things like what more detail can I give it? You know, tell it C2 level, thesis level, you know, tell it academic level, you know, whatever that you're trying to do. Tell it this style of writing, you know, or this writer. Use a specific writer as a stylistic influence, you know. Uh, Give it as much detail as you can. Tell it how many words, tell it how many paragraphs, tell it how many characters, whatever you need to give it in detail, you know.
Yeah.
ChatGPT also is better if you tell it to give it to you in parts, right? So sometimes when you want an answer that's a very detailed answer, it gives you a brief answer because it's limited by its um, you know, the limitations of length that it has, right? It can only give you an answer
Yeah.
this long, but it can break that by answering in many parts. So if you tell it to please tell me about psychology, right? That's huge. You can't answer that quickly, and give it to me in 10 chapters, right? Each one a separate prompt. And now each prompt will be the first part of psychology that you must know, and the second part of psychology that you must know, and then the third part, right? Each prompt will be a separate prompt just to for each chapter, so it can
Yeah.
get around the length problem.
Yeah, I guess so. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna try this one. So, yeah. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much again.
You're
Like,
welcome. You're welcome.
yeah.
Good luck. Again, thesis
Yeah.
writing, to be honest with you, most of the theses that I've read are the theses I've read are they're just
So,
academic.
by the way, I'm gonna talk about character education and racism in movie A and movie B. So, like, it's about uh, racism and also like character education and the implications for student, the implication
Character
for learning
education
material
and
in high school
racism.
student.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
Character education and racism in movies.
yeah, yeah.
That's an interesting
I'm gonna
topic.
talk about the the movie with like the Green Book. Have you watched
Okay,
that one?
sure. Yeah, good book. Yeah, or
Yeah,
good movie, I mean.
yeah.
Good book
I
and good
watched the
movie.
movie, but it's also
Yeah.
like I guess that's from the novel,
That's
the
right.
Green Book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna talk about the movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a really interesting story, and it's a really good one to help you understand, the way racism was in America, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
uh, and especially the way there were different classifications of race, you know.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I guess that it's also like relevant in Indonesian, like we live in Indonesia, and I guess that racism is also like happens here in Indonesia. So yeah, I'm gonna talk about racism. That's I guess it's interesting because I guess that I think like I experience it like myself, but
Hmm.
racism, but this thing, yeah,
Yeah, but like I said, yeah, no, that's a good topic. Yeah, and that's one movie you could use, but honestly, there are probably dozens of movies you could use as an example of that. And it might be a good thing to ask ChatGPT and say, hey, the Green Book tells this story about racism in America and the character development of these, are there any other movies that you can think of that have similar themes about racism that could help me with my thesis?
so it's gonna be like two movies. So my thesis would be like focus A, focus B, and then on movie A and movie B. So I'm gonna talk about the Green Book and the Green Mile.
Ah, okay, interesting. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, you should call it the green
Yeah.
paper. The green thesis. You can call it the green thesis.
Yeah, yeah, because yeah, I like to be honest with you, sir. I have watched the Green Book, but I haven't watched
The Green
the
Mile.
Green Mile. Yeah, because
It's
I
good
watched
too.
the Green
Yeah.
Book and it's really interesting. You know that the
Yeah,
movie? Yeah.
the Green Mile is good too. However, I kind of feel like it has certain other kinds of racist overtones or undertones that the one character they have who's the big black guy who's really strong but he's very sweet.
Yeah.
There are definitely some racist undertones going on with that. Like, um, yeah, it's this kind of deep to get into, but the way it was if you were big and black, if you pretended to be dumb, then they thought you weren't a threat, right? So lots of blacks who were really smart used to pretend to be dumb because it was safer. Because
Yeah.
if you were smart and you showed that you were smart, you might embarrass somebody who wasn't black and they were white, and that could be a big problem for you. So, like I said, that movie to me, there are some interesting, you know, racial concepts that go on that would not necessarily vibe with the Green Mile. Um, I'm sorry,
Green Book
the
and
Green Book. I mean, the Green Book.
yeah.
Um, yeah, but I think that you should still ask ChatGPT for some other possible movies that might fit better or fit well with this concept. Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
sure that there are some. You know, um,
There's a lot of movie. I have already like done some research on this, like which are the movie that contain racism, and then I choose the Green Mile because again you mentioned like it's like a green thesis because I want to have a rhyme on my thesis
Okay,
title,
but
you know?
that's why I'm warning you though, because I get that, I understand that, but you could be forcing it. You could be forcing it because that movie, unless unless you can tell me a really brilliant way to link those two movies in the themes of racism together, then I would say you might be forcing it. Right? Just because they have the name doesn't mean it's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's why I'm saying
So
okay. Don't. I'm not saying throw that away. I'm saying put that aside for a minute. You have that idea, and that you can do that idea, but it could be that there might be another movie that doesn't have green in the name, but the themes make much better sense and would be much
yeah,
easier to write about, right?
yeah.
So,
I have checked some movies about
but
racism, but again,
but
like
but but
I'm
again
gonna go
though,
with this one.
but this is the thing. Don't just look for movies about racism because there are thousands of them. So you have to be more specific and find ones that are subtly about racism, structures of racism. That's what you should be looking
Yeah,
for.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
um, because that's what the Green Book is about. Is it was a movie about how black musicians weren't allowed to play in every club. They couldn't play in the white clubs. They had all
yeah,
separate clubs that they played in. And this book
yeah,
was a book of safe places that blacks could go in the South to eat, to sleep, to play music or see music or be entertained, whatever. You can go here and it's safe. That's the Green Book, right? Um,
yeah,
so what I'm saying, that's describing structural racism, and I think you need to find movies that describe structural racism. Yeah, there are lots of movies like 12 Years a Slave, and oh what God, I can't remember. Oh, I'm so sorry. There are many movies that are obviously about the Civil War and slavery in America. Lots of them. Okay, but that's too direct. That's talking about the war and how we started. You need to be looking for the ones that describe structures of social racism.
yeah.
That's what that was. Okay?
Yep, yep.
Yeah. So, uh, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by this. So I'll tell you what. Message me if you have any problems, and I'll see what I can do to help you.
Hi, sir. Sir, thank you very much for the offer. Thank you very much.
You're
So
welcome.
yeah, I think I'm gonna say I'm gonna say bye because
Okay.
I'm gonna
Okay.
go
Start working.
right
All right. All
now.
right. Great. All right. Well, good luck to
Thank you
you.
very much, sir. Thank you very
All
much.
right.
Thank you
Take
very
care, my
much. Bye
friend.
bye. Take
Bye
care,
bye.
everyone. Bye.
One moment here. Let me answer something here. Important messages. Okay. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. Yeah. Hello, Learn EAW or EWA. Sorry. How are you? All right. Who's next? Raise your hand if you want to come talk to me, and let me see if I can get a couple questions from the audience here first too. Let's see. I'm reading comments. Hello, Bruce. Good to see you. Hello, Abdullah. Hello, Tiong. Uh, you have a teacher from the United States, but when you send him questions, he doesn't reply. I don't know who is that. It's not me. I don't know why your teacher doesn't reply to you. Get a better teacher. Hire me. I'll reply. Yeah, anybody can speak to me if you just raise your hand. If you have a question, that'd be better. All right, let's see. Emily wants to talk to me.
Hi, teacher.
Hello, Emily. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Okay.
So my English is not. I'm beginner to
Okay.
speak Spanish.
Okay, that's okay. All right. Do you have a question for me or something you want to ask me about?
Mm, um. Okay. Really, I need to um to to practice my speaking because my brain not connect well with my mouth.
Ah, that's the most important thing you just said. Your brain is not connected with your mouth. So, you could practice speaking more. That would be good. It's good to practice speaking. But what
Mhm.
you really need to do is you need to practice thinking in English more.
Thinking in English. Okay.
Yeah, that's the
So
problem. Yeah, the problem is you're not comfortable here with English. You have to be comfortable here before you can be comfortable here,
okay.
right? And many people don't think about this. They don't consider this that when you learn a language, you have to learn how to read it and write it and listen and speak, but you also must know how to think in English. You have to know how to think in the language. So, uh, what I want you to do is when you have lunch today, for lunch, I want you to think in English while you're having lunch. Don't think, ah, oh, muy delicioso. Think, oh, this is delicious. Okay? Don't think, so good. Don't think muy bien. Think so good, right? Try to find simple things that you can think in English. and then build on that every day more in English. And if you don't know how, if you don't know how to think in English, then write that down in Spanish. That's your homework. You have to find out, how do I say this in English? Right? Like, what are you doing right now? Do you know how to say that in English?
Curl my hair.
Curling your hair. That's right. Very good. So now you can think about curling your hair in English. Okay? So that's the secret, Emily, is I live in the United States, but I practice my Chinese every day because I just think in Chinese.
Thinking. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
I can do it.
if I spend all day with trying to think in Chinese about simple things, just what do I need to do today? You know, what am I making for breakfast? What am I having for lunch? What am I doing for dinner? Where am I going? What am I, if you go to the market, think in English. When you watch TV or watch movies, try to think in English. Just a little bit every time. And more. The more you can think in English, the better. Okay? That's the secret. You said it. Is my mouth and my mind are not comfortable. That's the problem, is you have to make your mind comfortable. Okay?
Okay. Okay.
So you can
in
do it.
this moment, I go to my work.
Okay.
And
All right.
thank you for your secret.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So at work, when you have time, try to think in English. Use your English mind. Right now, your English mind is like a child. It's like a baby. And it will not grow up if you don't use it. If you use your English mind, then it will grow. And now you can say more and more and more, just like a baby can grow and they say more. Okay? So, good luck at work and think in English. Okay?
Teacher.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. Let's see. Amir, that's you over there. Okay, yes. I'm fine. How are you? Okay, and let's see. You're an auditor and your weakness is grammar. Okay, well then you need to focus on grammar more, right? ChatGPT is great for that. It's really good for that. Hello, Jack. How are you? Good to see you. And I got your message. I will return your message later today, okay? Hello, Gunter. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? Let's see. How can you improve your English writing? I hate to keep saying it, but ChatGPT is the best way to use to improve your writing. Ask ChatGPT to help you improve your writing. Okay? Ask ChatGPT to help you improve your writing, and it will. It will create a plan for you to help you write better. Okay? Tell it what kind of writing you need to do. You're an auditor, so you need to do English for work, I think, right? Okay, that's different than English for school or English for academia or English for traveling. Those are different things. So tell it what you need, okay? When you speak, you have problems with remembering vocabulary. And again, that's because you have to use words to remember the words. You have to interact with the words to remember the words. You have to make connections with the words to remember the words. But if you never use them, then of course you forget them. That's normal. Okay? All right, I'm going to get somebody else. Sometimes ChatGPT can't help me at all. I disagree. I think it can. I think sometimes maybe the problem is you just don't know how to ask it properly. Okay? And that's also tricky. If you don't know English well, then you can't ask a prompt well. right? So, um, I do think that ChatGPT can help you improve your writing, but you have to tell it what to do. You need to tell it what you need, okay? What's the best American book for learning words? The dictionary. There is no one book that's good for learning words other than the dictionary, but I don't think a dictionary is a good way to learn words at all. Not at all. Uh, okay, let's talk to Azijon. Hello, Azijon.
Hi,
How are
my
you?
teacher. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good.
See?
And you're from, is that Turkmenistan?
No, Uzbekistan. I'm from
Uzbekistan. I'm
Uzbekistan.
sorry. Okay. All right. And
Yes.
what can I do for you? How can I help you?
Um, I have a question. Actually, I need your advice on one area. I've been learning English for 3 years, and I used to attend many classes, but I'm really so tired from them. And I choose to be independent learner.
Hmm.
But in this way, I sometimes I struggle with keep going motivation. Sometimes I lose motivation because I'm independent learner. Um, Sometimes um, I'm busy with some works
Hmm.
like these days I'm working on a construction site because I'm a builder to earn to study,
Hmm.
and but I want to study. I want to keep going in English. I want to learn English. How can how can I keep going
Okay.
smoothly without distractions
Okay. Uh,
on this way?
Let me give you a good answer. You can't. Because that's how learning is. Learning, first of all, when you learn a language, there is no end to learning a language. There's no finish. You're going to continue learning a language for your whole life. Okay, that's how language is. It's kind of like learning a musical instrument, like the piano or the drums. You're never finished learning, you keep going, right? So that's the first thing.
Yes.
And the second thing is when you learn something, anything, you're going to have ups and downs, right? And that is part of the problem is how do you stay consistent and motivated? Okay? So, that's what you need to think about is how do I stay consistent and how can I stay motivated? Consistency is about having a plan. If you are a self learner, you must have a really good plan. Okay? As a self learner,
Mm.
you have to think of yourself like you're the general of an army and you need to have a battle plan, right? A strategy, right? So you need to sit down and make one, right? Now, when I have my students, I teach them that they need 8 different plans. 8 plans. A plan to practice reading, to practice writing, listening, speaking, a plan to practice thinking, a plan to practice grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Those are the 8: reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Okay? If you have a separate plan for each of those, of here's how I'm going to work on my reading, here's how I'm going to work on my writing, and then just like going to the gym, you should have like a schedule, you know? So on Monday I try to do this, and on Tuesday I try to do this, and but when we're an adult, if you want to be a good learner as an adult, then you must learn as part of your lifestyle. So that means that if you have time to sit down and study for 2 hours, that's great, wonderful, do that. But you also need to find ways to study throughout your day. Just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. This is how you really will push forward, is by making learning part of your lifestyle, okay? Now, also, why are you learning English? What is your motivation? So this is what I tell people is, anyone can climb a mountain, but everyone will climb that mountain better if they have a good reason. Right? So, if I want to go to the top of the mountain just for fun, yeah, that's one reason. But what if my wife is trapped on the top of the mountain and she's hurt? She broke her leg. That's a much different motivation, isn't it? Right? The
Yes.
motivation of somebody trying to get to the top to help their wife, that's much different than just, I want to go to the top for fun, right? So you have to think about your motivations. Why am I doing this? And list them, write them down. If I learn English, I will get this. If I learn English, I can do this. If I learn English, I can do this. You have to know, why am I going up this mountain? What's the point, right? Write it down. And then you can see it. And you can even put it on your wall. You can write them on your wall and say, I want to go study in the United States. If I learn English, I can do that. I want to get a better job at my work. If I learn English, I can do that. Put it on your wall so you see it, And then here's another thing that I also tell people is, sometimes you need to manipulate your distractibility.
Manipulate how?
So we're all distractible. It's everybody can be distracted, but sometimes I find that I manipulate my distraction by giving myself things to be distracted by that are beneficial to me. So for example, when I learn English, people ask me, what's the best way to learn English? And they want me to say one thing. They want me to say videos or TV or movies. That's the best way to learn English. But my answer to them is, the best way to learn English is every way you can get. Right? So if you can get videos, great. Books, great. Apps, great. Teachers, great. Mentors, great. Family, great. Friends, great. Live streams, great. Podcasts, great. You should get everything you can get. That's what you should do. That's the best way. And if you have a lot of different ways to practice, then you can distract yourself with these different ways, right? So instead of being distracted by the TV show that's bothering you or something, okay, for example, maybe you work on your grammar for like 30 minutes, but grammar's so boring and you get bored with grammar. So, okay,
Yes,
fine.
yes.
So then take a break for 5 minutes and then do something different, like practice speaking with a partner for 30 minutes, or practice writing a short story for 30 minutes, or practice, learning some vocabulary for 30 minutes. If you have many, many things to do and many, many ways to do them, you can manipulate your distractibility to be beneficial. So you are being distracted, but you're being distracted in positive ways.
Yeah.
Understand?
You said, you mean I should replace bad distraction with
Good
good
distraction.
distraction.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Yeah. And if you make learning as fun as it can be, right? Make it fun sometimes, right? So you should have some things that are not fun, like grammar. That's not fun. You can't really make it fun. You can try, but it's not fun, right? But you can then have some other things that are fun to play with, like word games or something. That's fun. Okay, do that for a little bit, right? Balance it. Balance it that way,
Yeah.
Yeah. I learned that
Thanks,
trick.
Mark teacher.
You're welcome. Yeah,
Okay.
I learned that trick a long time ago, just because I'm a very distractible person. My mind is always looking for things to pay attention to, so I have to try to figure out ways to keep it distracted in positive ways. you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can try that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for your advice.
Yeah. And just remember that
I appreciate.
climbing a mountain is sometimes beautiful. Like, oh, look at the beautiful view. It's so beautiful and the wind is nice and this is so nice. But climbing a mountain sometimes is hard and dangerous and difficult. That's the same as learning. Sometimes it's fun, but sometimes it's going to challenge you, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's how you grow. If you're not being stressed out, you're not pushing yourself to grow. Okay? Every plant that grows out of the ground has to fight gravity. Okay?
Yes.
All right. Azujan, any other questions for me?
No, no, thanks. This is my question. This was my question.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, wonderful. It was nice to talk to you. And come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, my friend. Okay. Let's see. I'm checking the comments, and then I'll see if I can talk to somebody else. Abdullah, here's what I'm going to do for you. Wait a minute, let me find something. There was a website that I had, and I need to find it again. Not that one. Oh, I'm going to hate myself for this if I can't find this. Oh, I know where it is. Wait a minute. I'm going to find it. I found a website recently that has a series of different AI tools all put together into one tool. And one of the tools they have, I haven't tried it yet, but it's a book recommender. So let me find that here for you. One moment. I know I have it here somewhere. Here it is. That's what it was, word.studio. If you go to Word, yeah, this one. Yeah, go to Word.studio. Just type that in. And they have an app called a book recommender where you can type in the type of book you want, right? Science fiction, mystery, romance, nonfiction, science, history, whatever. And you can type in other books you like or other authors you like, and it will find books like that, right? You can type in themes or topics that you want to have books about, and you can type in specific elements too, all right? If you go to that, this is a pretty interesting little group of tools, this Word.studio. They're learning tools. They have a sentence structure analyzer, an etymology explorer, you know I love that, quiz generator, a book summarizer. It's interesting, a poetry machine, thesis statement generator. Yeah, it's interesting. Okay, please be patient. I'm just trying to check comments, and then I'll talk to someone else. With you wants to know my live streaming schedule. So, I don't have a particular schedule because I'm a busy person, but I do try to be here Monday through Friday, around 9 a.m., 9:30 or 10, somewhere between 9 and 10 a.m. That's when I start, and I usually do 1 hour or 2 hours, maybe more. Okay, so New York City time. That's my time zone. Okay, somewhere between 9 and 10 a.m. Monday through Friday. Now today is Saturday, and I'm here because sometimes I do more. Okay. But they have a problem with HelloTalk with the notifications right now. So I think that many people are not getting the notifications on time. If you are not getting the notifications on time, you should send me a message. Please. If you do not get notifications for my live streams, please send me a notification, or please send me a message so that I can tell them. Okay? They need to see your account. They don't need to talk to you, but they need to look at your account to find out why you're not getting the messages. Okay? Why you're not getting the notifications. Okay? Hello, Oksana. Thank you, Emily. Hello, Greg. Good to see you again. Risa says, listening and speaking are interesting, but reading and remembering makes me fall asleep. Risa, reading can be interesting, but you have to find the right reading. Reading is like music. People like music. Everyone likes music. I don't care who you are. You cannot tell me you don't like music. If you tell me you don't like music, I will tell you you haven't heard enough music. You're just listening to the wrong music. Okay? So same thing with reading. Is if you tell me you don't like reading, then you're reading the wrong things. There are some things that you can read that will really speak to you, and you'll want to read them. Okay? You have to find that. Popo says, I understand you, but when I watch English movies, I can't understand. But that's because I'm an English teacher. This is my job, to speak well. Movies are just entertainment. They're not designed to teach you English. And every language has a common form of the language and a formal form of the language, just like Chinese has. Okay? In Chinese, there are many things that they speak that only in certain places, like casual environments, casual Chinese, common Chinese, that you wouldn't say in school, or you wouldn't say in a formal environment or at the bank. Okay? English is that way too. So try to choose movies that have good English if you're trying to learn English from a movie. Okay? Don't challenge yourself by don't challenge yourself in an unnecessary way by watching a movie that has English that's particularly difficult because it is not formal or proper or academic. All right? Thank you, Scott. Hello, good to see you. New York concrete jungles where dreams are made of, and nightmares too. You're reading the dictionary. Well, Risa, reading the dictionary is a form of intellectual torture. No! No! Stop, Risa. Do not read the dictionary. The dictionary was not a book that was meant to be read. It's not for reading. Okay? Let me tell you why a dictionary is not a good way to learn vocabulary. Let me tell you why. When you look for words in the dictionary, how do you look for them? How do you look for them? The only way to look for words in the dictionary is by alphabetical order, right? But it's not a valuable way to learn vocabulary. Alphabetically is not a valuable way. Many words in the many A words. There are many A words that are very useful, and there are many A words that are not useful, like the word aardvark. An aardvark is an ant-eating animal. Right? It's an animal. But do you really need that word? No, you do not. It's a very rarely used word. It doesn't have that much value. Okay? But if you look for words in a better way, so a thesaurus is a good book for learning. So go to thesaurus.com, okay, or buy a good thesaurus. A thesaurus is a book that will let you search for a word you know, right? A simple word you know, and then find a word you don't know, right? A more complicated word that you don't know, right? That's what I would do, is use that. Or search for vocabulary by topic, Risa. Choose a topic that you're interested in, or choose a topic that you think is important in your life, right? So, like, maybe you like sports a lot. If you like sports, then learn about sports vocabulary. If you like movies, then learn about movies vocabulary. If you like history, then learn about history vocabulary. A dictionary is a terrible book for learning because it's organized in a way that's not useful. It's alphabetical. Okay, it's only useful for finding a word. It's not useful for learning words. Okay? Have I seen the last movie, Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible? I'll be honest, Oksana, I have not seen any of the Mission Impossible movies. And, Oksana, my problem with these movies is if you call it Mission Impossible, but you have how many of them now? What is it, 6? Then shouldn't it be Mission Possible now or Mission Probable? And on top of that, it should be called Mission Impossible. Tom goes to the old folks' home. Because Tom, come on, Tom. Graduate, Tom. Graduate. He's still trying to be 20 years old, and he's not 20 years old, and it's kind of sad now. Tom Cruise needs to turn his life and start doing things that are actually serious. And then he can be treated like an adult. But right now he still does stuff that's kind of like, man, why are you running from age? Anyway. He's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome. He's not, he's awesome. But I just wish he would just kind of stop trying to feel like he's. Everybody gets older. We all get older. He's afraid of that. It's obvious. He needs to. He just needs to mature a little bit, and it would be awesome if he would just accept it. Accept it and own it. All right, let's see who else wants to talk to me. Oh, Jack wants to talk to me. Let's talk to Jack, and then we got Catherine and Amir. Oh. Wow, this Word.studio is really amazing. It does have a lot of different essay writer, Einstein teaches physics, teach me anything, deconstruct this. Wow, I really like this. This is going to be one of my new favorite AI tools. Jack, are you there? Are you busy? What's the difference between unpossible and impossible? Unpossible is not a word, Oksana. We don't use unpossible. We say impossible. Okay? Or not possible. Jack, are you there? Oh, I guess Jack must have left. How about Catherine?
Hello, Mark.
Hello, Catherine. How are you?
Hello, Mark. Hi, I'm good. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. And you're in China where? What city?
I'm in Beijing now.
Oh, okay. All right. And what can I do for you today?
Actually, I want to improve my speaking English and we can have some free chat or what else? Anything.
Okay.
That will be okay.
Okay.
So you go ahead.
Okay. So I was going to tell you, ask you. So tell me what's wrong with your speaking? What's the problem with your speaking?
I think I want to speak more fluently, and I want to speak maybe pretty much better like a native speaker, or maybe I think I'm now speaking is not so fluent and not so good. Maybe some people may think that I am okay in speaking, but I think I want to improve to a high level.
Mm.
Maybe I want to teach my kids. They
Okay.
are they are
Okay.
all speaking English. Yes.
Okay.
So I want to be more expert in this field so that I can teach my kids more professionally.
Okay. So, have you watched me before?
Yeah, I have watched you for many times, and you have told that there are 8 parts: speaking,
Hmm.
understand,
Yeah. Reading, writing,
listening,
listening, speaking,
writing,
thinking.
writing. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but I think now the most biggest problem is that I think I have a best memory now. Sometimes I may try to memorize new words, and maybe after a few days I will totally forgot about that
Okay.
words.
So, if you have watched me before, then you know there's one piece of advice that I tell more than anything else. Do you know what I say more than anything
Practice
else?
more.
Well, yes, but a specific kind of practice.
uh, think English in mind.
Yeah,
Just what you think of instead of your mother tongue, you use English. So,
that's
for
right.
example, what you are doing, think
So,
that
have you
yes,
done that?
I tried to, but
Yeah, see, I can tell you didn't. I can tell. 你觉得这是太困难，所以你想哦不可以。
uh, the thing is sometimes for example, maybe I think I'm now doing something, and I try to think that in English, and just in a few sentences I can think, and then I
Yeah,
don't know how to spell, how to express that,
right.
and I want to check that in the dictionary, but I can only check some words, but the
Okay,
sentence is hard for me to uh, think
okay.
completely in
So
English.
here's what I want you to do. I want you to do a couple of things. One, I want you to get a notebook. You need a notebook. And in your notebook, this is a notebook that I want you to try to carry with you everywhere all the time. And anytime you find something that you don't know how to think in English, that you want to think in English, write it down in Chinese. 这是你的功课.
Okay.
Okay, that's your homework. Okay, and then later you can go and say, okay, how do I say this in English? Right? Okay, and by the way, you know, if you can use ChatGPT or DeepSeek, whichever one, you can use Chinese with that too. Right? So I use Chinese with ChatGPT sometimes. It knows Chinese.
I will use ChatGPT or DeepSeek to do my work. Actually,
Okay.
my work is about the paperwork in English,
Okay. All
but
right.
not speaking. Yes. So
Okay.
I will use that to
Okay, good.
improve.
Yeah. So, you know, you can use it with Chinese though too. If you're not sure how to ask something, you can ask it in Chinese so that you can ask it clearly, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
so, but what you need to do is you need to find uh, simple things first. Start with simple things, right? So I have a system for learning how to think in English, and I'm going to teach it to you now. Everybody, pay attention. Take notes. Take notes. This is the 4 steps of thinking in English. Okay. Step 1 is baby English. Babies,
Uh-huh.
babies don't know grammar, so grammar doesn't matter. So don't even worry about grammar for step 1. Okay? What do babies think about? Babies think about how they feel, what they want, what they like, what they don't like, what they need, what they don't need. Right? That's very simple, right? I'm hungry, I'm tired, I'm happy, I'm sad. That's easy. You can think those in English, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
Yeah.
明天如果你肚子饿，你需要想 I'm hungry.
I'm fine. Oh,
Yeah.
I think I can do in this level.
Okay, good. That's baby English.
Think-
That's a start. That's a good
yeah.
start. Okay, but even with baby English, sometimes you will say, 这个英文怎么说？这个英文怎么说？这个英文怎么说？不知道，不知道，不知道。Right? I don't know. I don't know. How do I say that in English? How do I say that in English? How do I say that in English? Right? And it might be simple things. Just when you're walking down the street, maybe you see something like a car and you don't know how to say that. Okay, write it down. That's your homework, right? So start
Mhm.
with simple things like I like this, I don't like that. I want this, I don't want that. I need this, I don't need that. That's simple, right? Okay?
Yeah.
So any simple thought you have it in English. That's step one, is just all of your simple thoughts. If they're simple, then just change to English. Okay? So 今天的天气就是很热. Today it's really hot outside. Right? That's what I do. I live in the United States, but I just practice my Chinese just by thinking in Chinese about everything that I'm doing. You know? So you can do that too. So that's step one, is baby English. Step two is what I call curious kid English. Curious kid. Do you know what curious is? What is curious?
Curiosity.
Yeah,
It means
yeah.
it-
这
it
是
is,
好奇的,
curious.
right? Yeah, and kids are really curious. They have so many questions. What's this? Who's that? Where? Why? When? What? You know, they're just asking questions all the time. You need to do that also. In English. Every day. Everywhere you go, ask simple questions in English and try to answer simple questions in English. So if you are at the grocery store, right? Okay, or maybe you're at the bank. You're at the bank and you can say, okay, who is at the bank? Oh, I see my neighbor, I see my friend, I see the boss, and I see some workers. That's easy, okay? What are they doing? Oh, well, my friend is standing in line, and the workers are helping them with their money, and the boss is watching everyone, right? And when does the bank open? When does the bank close? Where is the bank? Can you give simple directions there to the bank, right? These are simple questions that you can ask, and then can you answer them? Are you able to answer them with English? If you're not, where's your notebook?
Right.
Yeah,
down.
where's your notebook, right?
Chinese.
That's right. Yeah, if you don't know how, then write it down, and that's your homework, okay? So now, kids do two things. One, they ask a lot of questions. They ask a lot of questions. Who, what, when, where, why? Who, what, when, where, why? Who, what, when, where, why? So everywhere you go, think who, what, when, where, why, and try to answer it simply, okay? But kids also do another thing. Kids recognize that language is a way to be more mature, right? So when you're a baby, you say, yummy. But when you get older, you want to say, oh, it's so delicious, Mom. Because delicious, you know delicious is not a baby word. Yummy is a baby word. Delicious is not a baby word. So kids learn that language is a way to be more mature, and they want to be mature. So they start using more adjectives and adverbs. Adjectives and adverbs, like they don't just say the big pizza, they say the huge pizza, the enormous pizza, the gigantic pizza, right? They find other words to say big, other words to say small. This is really important because in Chinese, most of the time, when people speak, if they want to say big, they always use the same word. Just da and da, right? Yeah, but in English, that's not the way we do it. In English, we don't like to use the same word again and again and again. We feel like it's boring. So we say, oh, yesterday we had this big pizza. It was so huge. It was gigantic. You should have seen how enormous it was. I just used 4 or 5 ways to say big, right? Because we don't like to repeat. Okay? So this is an important thing, all right? But, so adverbs and adjectives, like learn more adjectives, learn more adverbs. Adverbs are the words that tell you how you did something, right? So she ran to the store. How did she run to the store? Oh, she ran to the store quickly, okay? Or he wrote his homework. How did he write his homework? He wrote his homework slowly or carefully or lazily, right? The ly words, a lot of the ly words are adverbs, okay? So kids use more adjectives and adverbs because they recognize that means we're growing up. We're not using the baby words anymore, right? So that's step 2. Step 3 is what I call identity English. Identity English is like high school level English. High school kids need to talk about themselves. Who am I? Like simple topics like your family, your friends, your hobbies and interests, your work, your travel, your goals, right? Your past, your present, your future. These are simple topics. And this is how you talk about yourself, right? So if someone asks you about your family, can you think about your family in English completely? Can you think about, okay, how old are my mom and dad? Where do they live? What do they do? What do they like to do for fun? Can I describe that in English in my mind? If I can't,
Write it down.
yeah.
It is some to extent like the presentation to introduce our family or my hobbies.
That's
and
right. Yeah, right. But this
my
is,
career
like I
goals,
said, this is like identity level English. This is like telling who you are. And that's what high school kids want to do. They want to tell who they are. They want to tell, I like this and I like that. And I've been here and I've done this. And this is what I want to do. That's what kids do at that age, right? It's their identity, right? So yeah, those are simple topics of identity. Topics of identity, like your family, your friends, your work, your hobbies, your interests, your goals, your dreams, your travel. That's that, okay? That's level 3. And yes, level 3 means you also need to learn a little bit more grammar, okay?
Yeah.
When we're focused on thinking, grammar is not the focus, okay? Yes, you need to work on your grammar. And yes, grammar needs to improve. But grammar practice and thinking practice are 2 different things. Okay?
Thinking.
They're 2 different things. And the reason I say this is because many people, they say, I want to think in English, but I can't because my grammar isn't good. But they're combining, they're making grammar practice and thinking practice part of the same. Okay? And when you're practicing thinking, the point is to get your mind fast. It's not to get your mind perfect. It's to get your mind fast. So I'm not focused on grammar when I'm doing thinking practice. I'm focused on thinking, right? It's like it's lubrication. Lubrication means to make something like oil. Makes it move more easily, right? So we're practicing trying to make the mind faster with this language, okay? So if you focus on grammar too much, then you get too nervous and you can't be fast, okay? So what that means is it's okay if your grammar is not perfect. I want you to just try to get the words together. Yeah, quickly. Yeah,
quickly.
just to get them together quickly. Okay, we'll work on the grammar. The grammar will improve it. Okay, but focus on the speed of the mind. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. All right, and then the final step is step 4. That's adult level English. It's academic level English. It's advanced topics. Now, this level of language is really difficult, and most people never get there. Okay, so
It's about politics.
politics,
science.
economics, science, religion, history, philosophy, all of those topics, right? That's hard. I can't. My Chinese is okay, but I can't talk about those things yet. I can do level 3 in Chinese. I can do up to level 3 in Chinese, but I can't do
Very good.
level 4 yet. That's too hard for me. But if you can achieve level 3, that's really good. Okay, level 3 is what most people need in real life, is to be able to talk freely about who they are and what they like and what they don't like and what they want and what they don't want and what they need and what they don't need, but at an adult level. It's funny because the things that babies talk about are the same things that adults talk about. They just talk in different ways.
Yes. Yes.
You know, babies talk about, I want this, I don't want this, I like this, I don't like that. So do adults, but we just do it in more complicated ways, you know?
Yes,
So,
when sometimes I read a bedtime story to my kids and they ask me questions, just make me I don't know how to answer them in English. Just
that's
oh,
good. That's good practice. Yeah, that's good. Every teacher has felt that before. Every teacher. Because students ask you questions sometimes, yeah, I don't know. Like, you're
yes.
like, wait a minute, that's a good question. I don't know that. And sometimes when my students ask me something, sometimes the students will ask you something because they want to challenge you. Like they want to try to ask you something you can't answer. And they think,
Oh,
kids sometimes think that if you say, I don't know, it means like, ha ha ha, you don't know, you're stupid, right? That's what kids think. But what I will tell my students is if my students ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, I will tell them, that's a good question. I don't know, but I'm going to find out and I'm going to come back tomorrow and tell you. Because
this
because I want them to understand that I don't know everything. Nobody knows everything, but I do have the ability to find it. I
yes,
can find it and
that's
then I'll
good.
tell you later. Okay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
reminds me of an interesting thing is that sometimes, for example, when the kids ask me how to say maybe yields in Chinese yields, and
Hmm.
maybe I will say, oh, sorry, I don't know how to say that in English, and he will tell me, oh, maybe you can look up in the dictionary now. He
Yeah,
will push me to
you should.
check the words.
You should. You should because that's good. He wants to find out. See, that's what's beautiful about children. Children are naturally curious. They want
Yes,
to
they're
know the
very
answers.
curious
Yeah,
about
they want to
everything
know
that
the answers.
touches
So
human.
so yeah, if he says maybe we can look it up now, you should say yes, we can. Let's do that. Okay?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
because
I will listen to him.
yeah, and remember that when you teach your children, you're not just teaching them information and facts. You're teaching them how to learn, right?
Oh,
And so
yeah.
so yes, when your child says, "Oh, can we look that up now?" You should say, "Yes, we can." Because you're teaching him, "Yeah, that's what you want to do. If you don't have the answer, go find it. Go get it."
Mhm.
It's out there, but you have to go get it.
Uh, Yes, they will learn the way to learn. If
That's
maybe they
right.
grow older and they don't know something, they will know how to check them by themselves.
That's right. You're encouraging the behavior, not just the information. You
Hmm.
know,
Yes.
that's again, that's what every good teacher knows this. A good teacher is not just teaching information and facts. A good teacher
Hmm.
is teaching how to be a good human.
Educate people.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what a teacher should be doing is teaching you how to be a good human. And part of being a good human, the most important part of being a good human is learning.
Mhm.
Almost
Yeah.
almost everything in life can be solved by removing ignorance. Okay? Ignorance is something that exists everywhere. Ignorance means not that you're stupid. It just means you don't know. You don't have that knowledge. It wasn't available to you, or you didn't seek it, or it wasn't presented to you, right? So you're ignorant. That doesn't mean you're stupid. It's not a bad thing, but it's important to teach people how to come out of ignorance.
Mm.
And coming out
Yes.
of ignorance means searching for knowledge.
To get more new knowledge
Yeah, and you have to
and to
search for it.
accept.
It's you have to work for it. Knowledge is
Yeah.
something that it's like when you find food okay, if you go to the grocery store to buy food, right? You have to still cook it. Right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with knowledge, that the knowledge is there, but it only makes sense if you make it delicious by cooking it well, right? So that means like uh, everybody, there are some teachers that you'll go to this class and you'll say, I don't understand. But the same information from a different teacher, you'll say, wow, I get it. Right? They cooked it better. That's what I mean.
Yeah, this is why the different teachers they educate the same knowledge. Maybe there will be different influence.
Yeah, it's
influences.
just like cooking. Like I said, you can eat the same food from two different people, and it might taste very different, right?
Oh, yeah, that's a very good metaphor.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So, you can eat steak, and steak is delicious, but if it's cooked badly, it's not, right? I can cook a steak and make it taste like a shoe. But I can also cook a steak and make it really delicious, and that's the way knowledge is too. There are some people who know how to cook really well. They can explain it to you and they can make you understand it. And there are some people who they know the knowledge, they have the ingredients, but they can't cook well. That's teaching.
It's just like the skills of cooking equals the skills of teaching.
It's similar. It's similar. Yeah, you're presenting ingredients. That's what teaching is. You're presenting ingredients, and you have to present them in a way that people can digest.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions for me, Catherine?
Not much now.
So I
Thank
will
you
say，
so
我
much.
觉得你的英文不错，可是我觉得你需要每天你需要想里面你的脑，你需要想英文。
I need to take a notebook and think in my
Yeah,
thinking.
you have to do it. You have to. But Catherine, it's only hard in the beginning. Okay, the first 3 months really hard. The first 6 months not so bad. After the first year, it's not hard. And then it's great because now your English feels so much more comfortable up here that when you want to use it, you don't have to think about it. It just is there. Okay?
That's what I want to get.
Right. Comfortability.
I will keep on practicing.
Comfortability of language comes from comfortability in the mind first. Okay? All right.
Yeah,
Well,
I remember you talk about comfortability yesterday. You
Yeah.
said that comfortability, you will speak more fluently.
that's right. Yeah,
And- and
that's what
you need
most
to
people want. When they say
Uh-huh.
most people when they say I want to be fluent, what they want is to be comfortable. That's the word they're really looking for. They want to be comfortable. They want to be relaxed. They want to be able to speak and just the ideas that are here come out nice and easily. Right? That's
Yeah,
that's
just
what they
like
want.
by nature.
Yeah, right. That's comfortable. Yeah. So, good luck. I think you can do it. Teaching your children is great because teaching is more practice for you.
Yeah, I think when I start to teach my kids English, I think my English has improved
Good. Yeah.
than before.
Yeah. It's better
Yes.
than before. Good. Okay, wonderful. Well, Catherine, good luck to you and come back and see me again sometime, okay?
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you, Teacher Mark.
Take
Thank you
care.
so
I'll
much.
see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. See you next time.
Hello, Chris. Good to see you, my friend. How are you? Okay. Yeah, I lost Amir. Sorry about that, Amir. I didn't get a chance to talk to you. Oh, somebody else is saying my microphone sounds weird. That's strange. I don't know why. Microphone? I'm checking my microphone to make sure it's the right line, and it is. Let me just select it one more time. And the speaker is also correct. Uh, does anyone else hear anything strange with my voice? Hello, hello, hello. Check one. Like a robot? So weird. Okay, let me try something. Um, oh, see? Now some people are saying it sounds good. Okay, yeah, there must be something strange going on because some people think that my voice sounds weird, but everybody else says it sounds good. Am I a gamer? I am not a gamer. No, I am not. Huh, okay. Interesting. I will have to tell people. Let me tell Hello Talk right now that there's some sort of an audio problem today. Let me message them while I'm at it. Let's see. Okay. See, I don't know why there's a problem. I can make my voice sound like a robot. Here's my robot voice. Hello. Oh, is that working? Should be working. Effect on. Ah, that's why. Check one. There we go. There's my robot voice. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger. Or my God voice. Study English more. Yes, I play drums. I am a drummer. All right, let's see. Jack. Jack, are you there? I think Jack left. How about Hamza? Oh, no, Hamza's not there either. Raise your hand if you want to talk to me. I sound like the guy in Airplanes on the intercom. Like, is that what I sound like? Okay, yeah, I don't know why. It sounds perfectly clear to me, and apparently most people think it sounds perfectly clear. So it must be some sort of a Hello Talk thing. Let me do one thing. Let me leave the room and come back in and see if that changes anything, okay? So let me just come right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, I came back. Did that change anything? Did that fix anything? Chris, do I still sound funny? It's much better. Okay. All right, well, I think it must be a Hello Talk problem because I think it sounds fine from here. Okay, I have time to talk to one more person. I have time for one more person. I've been here for almost 2 hours, so I have time for one more person. If you want to come on stage and talk to me, raise your hand. We've got ZD.
Hello,
Hello, Zidi. How are you?
how are you? Are you good?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good. And you're in Tunisia. Are you in Tunis or where?
Specifically in Ariana, you know,
I don't know. Where is that in relationship? North, south, east, west?
in the capital.
Oh, it's in the capital. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I will look that up. I'll look it up later so I can learn. So, what can I do for you today? How can I help you?
I want to ask how can I improve my pronunciation like a native speaker?
Okay. Uh, well, there are some things you can do, but let's talk about this for a minute first. When you say like a native speaker, not every native speaker speaks well, one. And two, there are many different ways to speak as a native speaker. There are many accents, right? So my accent is just one of dozens different accents that we have here, right? If you're from New York City, you sound different. If you sound from Boston, you sound different. If you're from Georgia or Texas, you sound different, right? So you have to choose one, right? You have to say, which one do I want to sound like first? You have to pick one. And then I want you to think about, why do you want to sound like me? Why is that your goal?
It's look good when you speak fluently and you look like the native speakers.
Okay, so here's what you need to know. The power of your words has nothing to do with your accent. If your accent is clear. So what I mean is, as long as your words are clearly understood in English, they don't need to sound like me. They just need to be clear. For example, Gandhi, right? Mahatma Gandhi, famous man who said many famous things in English, but he had an accent.
Yeah.
Now, did anybody say, "Oh, well, his words are not good words because he has an accent"? No one said that. No one said, "Well, we can't listen to Gandhi because he has an accent. His English is not perfect." Nobody said that, right? So the point is that I try to teach my students that the goal of language pronunciation should not be perfection. The goal should be clarity. So, as long as, if you speak, as long as my face looks like I understand you, then you're good. If I look like this, then that's a problem, right? That's a problem. If I don't understand you, now we have a problem. But you speak pretty clearly, Zidi, okay? Now, you can improve it. You can improve it, but you don't need to get rid of your Arabic accent. You do need to just clean it a little bit. So here's what I tell people. Your accent is kind of like crayons, right? Kids like to draw with crayons. They color in books with coloring crayons, right? And when you buy a box of crayons, you want all the colors. You don't want just one color. You want all those colors, the beautiful colors that you can draw with, right? Your accent is your color. Now, if I ask you to write your name with a crayon, if it's not sharp, then you can't write it clearly, can you? So,
Yeah.
should you change crayons or should you just sharpen your crayon?
Sharp the crayons.
Sharpen the crayon, right. That's what I want you to do with your accent. You don't need to change accents. You just need to sharpen your accent, okay? That's all we need to do. Make it clean, make it clear, all right? Now, there is one other aspect about accents that I want you to consider, and it's a very important one. When you learn most languages, like French or German or Spanish, those languages usually, they do want you to achieve a perfect accent. That is the goal in most languages. But English is a very strange language, especially in America, because it's a multicultural language. The language of English comes from many languages. It comes from Latin and Greek and French and German and Arabic and Persian and Hindi all put together. That's part of why it's kind of hard, is because all the languages are mixed together, right? So, when you want to get rid of your accent, this is what you're not thinking of. It's almost a form of cultural shame. It's almost like you're saying, I'm ashamed of where I'm from, so I'm going to pretend like I'm not from there by changing my accent. That's not good. Wouldn't it be better if somebody heard your words and they thought, wow, those are brilliant words, and they have an Arabic accent, and that means that brilliance came from that area? Wouldn't that be? Yeah, right? That's a good thing, right? So, right now, I think you speak really well, okay? Now, can you improve it more? Sure, you can, right? But I don't want you to worry about it because you're not unclear. You are clear, okay? If you find some words that are hard for you, then you should work on them. Now, here's what you can do. I want you to get a piece of paper, and I want you to think about 10 words that are difficult for you to say in English well, right? Think about it. There are a few words that when you say them, you go like, oh man, I wish I could say that better, but I can't. Why? Then write it down. And then I want you to look at those words and figure out, okay, why can't I say this word well? Is it the V sound? Is it the W sound? Is it the R sound? Is it the TH sound? What is it about this word? Why can't I do it, right? Then I want you to do a little searching online and find every other word that you can that has the same sound in it. Right? And then I want you to write those down. So when you finish, you'll have a paper with 10 words across the top, and then under those words will be a list of other words that sound similar. This is what I call your Target Accent Improvement List. It's TAIL, Target Accent Improvement List. This is a way for you to find the sounds that are hard for you in English and to focus on those sounds by practicing those words every day, okay? And then one last tip is every language that you learn, it has grammar and it has vocabulary, but it also has mouth movements. That's what accents are. So when you have an accent, it's because you're using English grammar and English words, but your mouth movements are still a bit too much like Arabic, okay?
Yeah.
And that's why it sounds different. So every language, you have to find the mouth movements and figure out what do I need to change about my mouth to make it sound right, okay? For example, the Arabic R, right? The American R is this long R sound, right? Like the word car has a long R sound, but the Arabic R is short, right? Kar. Yeah, right? Kar. It's got that L flip, like that tongue flip, right? Kar. Right? It's just flipped, right? So, if you know that, this is the one that most Arabic speakers should practice, is make the R sound long, because you can't do it with the Arabic sound if it's long. Right? Yeah, so that's one way to do it, okay? And then just find all the sounds that are like that, carry that with you, carry that paper with you, and every day work on that, and exaggerate your mouth movements, because your brain is programmed to use the mouth movements of Arabic. If you want your brain to learn a new mouth movement, you have to exaggerate it so that your brain can see it. Okay? If it's not exaggerated, your brain just won't see it, and then it can't learn it. So whatever mouth movements you're doing, make them bigger and more exaggerated than you need to. Okay? If you notice, I move my mouth a lot when I speak. That's on purpose. That's on purpose.
I see.
Many people, they say, you sound so clear. Why can I understand you? A lot of it has to do with diction. Okay? Enunciation. To enunciate means to overpronounce things, to make things extra clear. And that's what I do with my mouth. I make it really, really big like this when I speak so that every word comes out clearly. But guess what? it is actually a lot of work. My mouth will be tired. You know, sometimes if I speak like this for too long, I don't speak like this in normal daily life. You know, I don't need to move my mouth so much in my normal daily life. But here, I do it so that you can see the exaggeration. And you can see that if you exaggerate it, it's more clear. Okay? This is what actors do, like stage actors, not movie actors, like plays, right? They don't say, I'm an actor, I like acting. No, they say, acting, acting. You know, it's big, it's right? It's really, really big mouth when they speak, right? That's what I'm doing. And that's actually where I learned it from. I learned this when I was 15 years old. I had a class in acting. And in my school, it was a special entertainment school, a performing arts school. And our teacher, we had to get up in front of the class and read something. You know, I can't remember what I read, but you have to read it. And he said, here's what you need to do. You need to pretend like your grandmother came to see you perform. And she's sitting in the back of the room, way back in the back, and she doesn't hear very well, Grandma. She doesn't hear very well, right? So you need to speak in a way that Grandma can understand you very clearly, right? Like this, I'm speaking very clearly so Grandma can hear me, right? If you speak like this, hey, Grandma, what do you want to eat? Grandma's not going to know what you're talking about because you're not moving your mouth enough. So, yeah, right. Yeah, and we even have a word for that. If you don't move your mouth enough in English when you speak, we call that mumbling. Mumble, 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 mumble. That's an onomatopoeia. It means a word that sounds like what it is. So the word mumble, it sounds like what it is. When you speak unclearly, it sounds like mumble, 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 mumble. That's what mumbling is. So if mumbling is because you don't move your mouth enough, then move your mouth more and it will be extra clear.
Yeah, thank you very much.
All right, I know I gave you a lot. I tried to give you all of it all at once, okay? So the point is, you really don't even need to work on your accent the way you thought. You can work on it, but I want you to change your goal a little bit. Just adjust your goal and remember that the power of your words is not affected by your accent. Okay, if you have brilliant words have no country.
Just a moment. I mean the pronunciation, not to cover my identity.
That's right.
But I mean when I speak with people, because in my life I have a business to talk with many people with different countries. I need a clear pronunciation.
Right, but your pronunciation is pretty clear. I really do think so, okay? I've been on this app for almost 12 years almost, okay? I've talked to thousands and thousands of people from every single country in the world. I have 82,000 followers. I know accents well, okay? And if somebody doesn't understand you, the problem is not you. The problem is them, okay? That's something you have to remember. Sometimes when people can't understand you, maybe it's not you. Okay? It could be them. Or both. It might be a little bit of both, right? Maybe you could be more clear and they could listen better. Okay? So, but I don't want you to worry too much because I think you sound good. I think you sound really good. So just keep working on it a little bit. And remember that your accent is also like grammar. I think grammar and accent are kind of like your kitchen table in your kitchen, right? Your kitchen table, you have to clean it every day. Right?
Yeah.
It's not like you clean it and you're like, oh, I'm done. I don't have to clean my table anymore. No, every day you have to clean your kitchen table, right? Well, grammar is like that and your accent is like that. You know, every day you'll just kind of clean it a little bit. Just work on it more. Okay?
Yeah. Thank you for the advice. How can I use the sounds?
You're welcome.
I appreciate this.
No problem. No problem. That's what I'm here for. It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for coming. Come back and see me again sometime, okay? Okay.
Thank you.
Take care, my friend. Bye
See you
bye.
then. See you.
Okay, it has been 2 hours and 5 minutes. It's time for me to go. If I didn't get a chance to talk to you, I'm sorry, but I do need to go. Before I go, you can follow me on my website. If you go to my website and sign up, it's free. Go to my website and sign up. Everything you need to study English is on my website. Okay, every resource you need for reading is on my website. Every resource you need for writing is on my website. Every resource you need for grammar, for vocabulary, for pronunciation, for IELTS, for TOEFL, it's on my website. So go there. All right? And here is my YouTube. Everything we did today is on YouTube, and it will be uploaded as soon as I finish here. So if you want to listen to it again, you can go to my YouTube channel and watch. And I have hundreds of videos there with tips about English. Okay? And if you understand me, then go watch and you can listen. Use my live streams on YouTube as listening material. Okay? All right, guys, I gotta go. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for listening. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. And I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll be back on Monday, okay? Bye-bye, everyone.